According to France's 24-hour news agency, Saudi Arabian officials told U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken over the weekend that they were halting diplomatic talks with Israel. You'll recall, of course, that in recent months, the White House had been supporting the effort to normalize relations between the Saudi government and its longtime adversary, Israel. But due to concerns about Israel's retaliatory strikes in Gaza, the Saudis now reportedly say those talks were over. If that's the case, then Hamas's mission in some ways may have already been successful. However, on 60 Minutes yesterday, President Biden remained optimistic about the chances of a normalized relationship between those two nations.
The Saudis and Emiratis and other Arab nations understand that their security and stability is enhanced if there's normalization relations with Israel. And so I think that it's still alive. It's going to take time. Look, this is going to take time to get done. It's going to take time to move, but the direction of moving into the normalization makes sense for the Arab nations as well as Israel.
But it's not just Saudi Arabia expressing concerns over Israel's strike on Gaza. In a recent phone calls with his Saudi counterpart, U.S. Secretary Blinken and other foreign leaders, China's foreign minister, he reportedly said that Israel's actions had, quote, gone beyond self-defense. Joining us now, President Emeritus of the Council on Foreign Relations and author of the weekly Home and Away newsletter published on Substack, our friend Richard Haass. Richard, your newest piece is titled Why Washington Should Restrain Israeli Military Action in Gaza and Preserve a Path to Peace. There have been some hints from the Biden administration to Israel about that. Tell us more of your take.
I think the president made that clear last night on 60 Minutes, Jonathan. He talked about not doing a large occupation or anything like that. I think that what you're seeing is a distinction between their total legitimacy of Israel going after Hamas, but not doing things that capture most of the people of Gaza. That's one distinction that I think is central. And also, yes, there's got to be a military element to Israeli policy. Israel has the right of self-defense. They should go after terrorists. But in the long run, Israel needs a political part of its strategy. You can't beat something with nothing. If you don't want Hamas to be the voice of Palestinians in Gaza or anywhere else, then you've got to open a political path for other Palestinians saying, if you rule out violence, if you're willing to coexist with Israel, which Hamas isn't, we can give you not everything you want, but some of what you want. And what the president was saying correctly is that also has to be on offer once the dust settles.
So, Richard, let's get your analysis on the threats we heard from Iran over the weekend. Reports that they have warned that if Israel were to go in for a full siege of Gaza, that they would have no choice, they say, but to step in as well. Whether that means Hezbollah or the Iranian military is unclear. What's your analysis? Is this bluster, or is this something that Israel and therefore the rest of the world should be worried about?
With or without Iran's threats, I take that seriously, Jonathan, because I think it might be hard at some point for Hezbollah to simply sit this out, because pressure will grow. Well, why aren't you doing something? So I think that's a real concern. To me, it's another argument against Israel going in wholesale rather than retail into Gaza against Hamas. And I think it also raises questions for the United States. If Iran is threatening that, what might we do to say to Iran, you don't want to go down that path? And I think the United States could and should threaten Iran with greater sanctions, for example, going after those such as China who buy its oil, not even ruling out military action against Iran. And it's an awful situation it puts us in. We don't want a wider war, but we may have to threaten one in order to deter one.
We want to turn to Poland in a second, Richard, but one more last one on this. What do you make of Egypt's reluctance to assist?
Look, Egypt has its hands full at home. They're worried about internal stability. This is a country that almost permanently lives on the edge, Jonathan, economically and politically. They had their own problem with radical Islam a decade ago. So I just, they're not going to lean forward here. And Egypt administered Gaza until 1967. They want no part of it. It's been basically a problem for them, smuggling what's come into Egypt, often radicals or terrorists coming in that way. So I just don't expect Egypt to do much, perhaps beyond maybe helping to arrange a kind of an exchange along with Qatar of hostages for terrorists in Israeli jails.
And lastly, Richard, Poland, as I mentioned, had a significant election yesterday. It appears that the country's centrist parties may have won enough seats in the election to form a coalition government. Give us your take how consequential that is that the right-wing ruling party lost its majority.
Yeah, if the results hold, and it looks like it will, you'll have a coalition government. It's really good news for Polish democracy, for Poland's relations with Europe and the EU. It's a rare ray of good news. I actually think it's also good for Poland's willingness to stay the course on Ukraine. So again, it's just a reminder that who's ever the incumbent these days, that the push for change hurts them, and that's what happened in Poland. But in the case of Poland, this is really good news for the people of Poland, and I think the people of Europe.
And there was a sigh of relief from the Biden administration as well. President Emeritus of the Council on Foreign Relations, Richard Haass, terrific stuff. Thank you, as always, and check out Richard's Substack for more on his new piece.